What simple life hack should everyone know? Get into a routine of stretching your hip flexors and chest if you sit for long periods. Absolute game changer for people who suffer with chronic lower back pain as a result of being hunched over a desk. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. Bren Brown says that you should really look at who you're allowing to criticize you and evaluate why the opinions of strangers mean so much more to you than the opinions of those close to you. It was really empowering advice, and it came right when I needed it. If you have trouble choosing, flip a coin. While you're waiting to get the result, your mind automatically starts to wish for what it wants. Then you can choose easily. I've been doing this for big life decisions for years. Sometimes I don't realize what I want, but instead realize it doesn't matter and I just go with the flip result. If there's a jar or container you can't open, run the lid under hot water for 30 seconds. Dry it so you can get a good grip, then open. Never had this not work. Some pretty good stuff on here. Just beat it on the counter. The jar. I meant the jar. Too late. Now my counter is all sticky. Anybody got any tips for that? Edit. Thanks for the wholesome award, you sick bastard. If you put something down temporarily, say out loud I've put the screwdriver by the microwave, or whatever. This engages many more areas of the brain, particularly the language centers, which creates a richer memory, making it less likely you'll forget where you put it. In a similar vein, I will say it out loud when I turn stove burners off, unplug my hair straightener, etc. I've found this helps me eliminate those moments where I leave the house or am in bed and am suddenly like, did I leave that on? My wife and I made this a ritual due to her OCD. Anytime we are going out, I'll say to her, hey, I unplugged the iron. Saying it in a funny voice helps too, because it's easier to remember that Shrek told her the iron was off. No matter how good a person you are, at some point you will be the bad guy in someone else's story. You can't please everyone, and you shouldn't try to be a good person and have friendships with people you can respect and look up to. Sometimes you're the bad guy because you're trying to be a good person. Like when your best friend of 15 years asks you to something against your moral compass and you say no, and they end the friendship and write a book about it, and you have to be okay with that. Not necessarily a hack per se, but learn some basic knife skills. The amount of time you will save chopping vegetables a few times a week, minimum, for the rest of your life far outweighs the amount of time it takes to learn. Plus you can use the extra time to keep the kitchen clean, and that makes everything less stressful while you're cooking, and makes the cleanup faster as well. Tell that to my GF who insists that a butter knife can be used to cut anything. Squashed tomatoes suck. To confirm which circuit breaker is associated to an outlet, plug in an old radio and turn the volume up before you flip the circuit breaker. You can also do this with a vacuum if you are like me and don't have a radio. Honey does not go bad. If it has gone solid, it has just crystallized and can become liquid again with just a little heat. Put the container of solidified honey in a container of hot water. Put it in the microwave once. It worked but made the bottle bed oppressed. Sometimes changing your pillowcase daily can help with acne. I use a clean t-shirt over my pillow to accomplish the same effect. I usually put a clean towel on my pillow and sleep on it. That way I don't have to change the pillowcase often and can put the new towel on and wash the used one. I have like 10 cases and switch them every day. Helps a lot. If you want to wear something white light in color, wear underwear that matches the color of your skin, not white. Brush your teeth more thoroughly before bed after you are done eating and drinking for the day. Morning brushing is important too, but more so for fresh breath, while evening cleaning will prevent bacteria from breeding and damaging your teeth and gums. I brush my teeth every day with an electric toothbrush. I have been doing that for the past 3 years at least. I'm 21. But despite that, my teeth are still a bit yellow and it's annoying. I have some friends who have very white teeth, and they told me they didn't whiten them. Am I doing something wrong? Should I stop drinking coffee? Is it just genetics? Nah man. You're fine. Well, some people have whiter teeth than other. It's normal to have slightly yellow teeth. Turn your bed mattress when you renew your blanket. Through time your mattress will deform, and that can make you sleep worse. Edit. Some mattresses have a specific side and top that they need to be. Thanks for pointing that out, you/shaved ape. Some mattresses shouldn't be turned. Check the directions when you buy it. But if it needs it, this tip is brilliant. You can still rotate those feet ahead. It helps a lot. Train yourself to always keep an eye out for things that need to go in the direction you are going. If you are about to go downstairs, does any item nearby need to go with you? Perhaps a cup can be brought to the sink on your way to the bathroom. I always have to remind myself to do that. It's just not something we were taught as kids. But it does backfire when I get up to get a drink. Remember to take the plate with me back to the kitchen. Promptly put it in the dishwasher and go sit back down again, only to remember I never got the drink, which was the whole purpose of standing up. Gets my steps in at least. Read the 3 and 4 star reviews for the most reliable information on Amazon items. If you have a spare minute or are just playing video games or on a computer at home, take a few minutes to just pet your dog, cat and really appreciate them. A phrase I heard somewhere just really stuck with me. Pets are only a part of your life, but you are your pet's entire life. When moving house, always set up your bedroom/make the bed first, so when you're exhausted and just had enough you can fall into bed. Nothing worse than being exhausted and having to make the bed before getting into it. Also, if you have time, plan where do you want the furniture/boxes of your stuff in the house. Placing it in the right room straight away helps a lot. What I found very helpful is labeling each box with the contents and the room I want to put it in. I bought a roll of like 500 large name tags stickered so that they'll stick on anything. You don't have to be specific if you don't want to. Just using broad categories like books or dishes works too. I also moved all the stuff we've been storing but haven't used from boxes into plastic storage tubs. That way I can keep them in there when we move/I'll know that the cardboard boxes are all stuff I want to unpack. If you bring something to someone's house that you don't want to forget, put your keys with it, assuming you can trust the people there. Also, get a tile or similar Bluetooth device so you never lose your keys or phone again. Tiles are game changers. Just remember to put a clap finder on the remote that finds tiles. The phone is the finder, and to find the phone, just double click the button on the tile. I have like 4 tiles, so if I can't find one of them, first I use one of the other tiles to find my phone, then I use the phone to find the missing tile. It's amazing. Whenever you have a time to be somewhere, aim to be there 15 minutes early to allow for time snags or for traffic. People respect punctuality. On time every time. Better yet, ahead of time. Can always stick around on your phone for the difference. Regularly change the oil in your car. On time. Do it. Will help it last longer. Edit. What in the duck? So that's what happens when your inbox blows up. Thanks for the award too. My first car I owned when I lived alone. I had it for a full year before the guy I was dating asked me when I last changed the oil. You mean it has to go to the mechanic even though it's working fine? Don't be like that, folks. My old roommate totaled her car engine doing that. Her parents sent her to college with the car and apparently didn't teach her that. The rest of our group of roommates learned she never changed it and collectively said oh duck in one way or another. Manners and general politeness will get you far and become the norm with but a small amount of practice. I'm not talking overboard and laddie, but a simple please and thank you with a genuine smile. Tell the people you love that you love them more often. So true. You really never know what life is going to bring and what could happen in an instant. Tell those you love that you love them, appreciate them, value them in your life and be present. I used to think oh well I didn't tell my family or friends I loved them every day when we spoke or saw each other. But when a drastic accident takes someone you love away in an instant, you realize that there isn't always a tomorrow to say sorry or I love you. Treasure the moments before there isn't any moments to treasure. Love to everyone out there. The easiest way to remove bloodstains is to use bar soap and hand wash it. Works better than using laundry detergent. Always poop on company time. This way, at the end of the year, you will have earned like 2 work days paid by pooping. Hence you will be a professional pooper and also less money spent on toilet paper at home. Plus, you don't do your best work when you're holding in your shit. Pooping at work is really in everyone's aligned interests. One of my favorite crapper poems, the boss walked by and I had to laugh cause him tack in a shit on time and a half. If you want someone to get more mad, you tell them to calm down. Also, call them champ. Also, call women psycho. They will definitely act more normal immediately. Don't take life advice from internet strangers. If you're planning on spending a decent amount of time drinking at a busy bar, always make sure you give the bartender a really good tip on your first order and ask them how they're doing before you order. Chances are you won't have to wait very long on your next couple of orders. Sometimes drunk me forgets to tip at the end of the night. And sometimes drunk me forgets that I tipped at the beginning of the night. Apostrophe. If you want to open a glass jar, like jam, pickles, and the lid won't move, place a spoon with the tip under the edge of the lid and pull the spoon upwards. The lid will bulge, and you can open the jar. No one else uses a rubber band to get a better grip. If you're in a public restroom having to poop and are using an automatic flushing toilet, put a bit of toilet paper over the motion sensor at the back. This will prevent it from flushing before you're ready, which might scare and or splash you. Also, a tiny bit of paper on the water itself will prevent the splash when you drop your poop. Just remember to take the paper off when you are done to initiate the flush. Mostly applies to the USA. Learn how to cook 2 or 3 meals. Use as little out of the box items as possible. I make chicken alfredo, spaghetti and meatballs, and tuna or chicken casserole. This means the excuse for eating out all the time is not as prevalent and is something you can do to show off a little bit. I make baked ziti for guests and everyone is so impressed with me. It is literally the easiest thing in the world, but people are falling all over it. Serve it with some store-bought garlic bread and a salad and people lose their shit over what is basically a casserole. If you accidentally have caps lock on, instead of deleting it and starting over, you can highlight the caps and hit shift and F3 to switch it back to lowercase. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Because so many people are asking where this works, I know for sure it works in Office, Outlook and our internal system at work, but it's not universal. Sadly, I couldn't say where it doesn't work. If you're having trouble getting your baking paper to fit your tray, scrunch it up first and then unfurl it. It stays in the pan easier and fits like a dream. Also, you can add a little bit of water under it to make it stick to the surface. In a pinch, the seat belt in your car can be used as a bottle opener. If you throw a house party where you, as the host, plan on getting quite drunk, start the cleanup while drunk. Trust me, waking up to a clean house when you're hungover is fantastic. Drunk you will barely remember, and sober you have so much less to worry about in the morning. And if you do it near the end of the night, a few others might just help out cause they are drunk too. This is a real LPT. Some might think it's a little tacky, but I always start cleaning a little bit while I have company over. They typically grab empties and recycle them and bring their dishes into the kitchen. Bonus because they usually notice what time it is and see it's time to leave. Putting your Oreos in the fridge makes them taste far better than room temperature Oreos. Same with Twinkies. Learned this as a kid when my mom had to put her lunch treats in outside garage freezer so my dad wouldn't eat them in the middle of the night. If you use a bidet, you'll never have to worry about running out of TP during a global pandemic. I was literally using the bidet when I read this. As soon as there was a run on TP at the start of this thing, I bought a bidet. Freaking love it. No one actually knows what they're doing. Also, no one knows what you are thinking, so might as well be honest to yourself. After years of being taught God was eavesdropping on my thoughts. Being free to think my rancid thoughts in peace is wonderful. It's easier to examine your thoughts / see where they come from, if you can really lay them out. Don't discuss politics at work. But what if it's your job? Senator, we really need your input here. No. 5 minutes of daily exercise is infinitely better than 0 minutes and will make a big difference in a lot of daunting situation. For example, asking someone out or standing up for yourself. You only need to be brave for a few seconds to get it over with. Wash jizz off with cold water, not warm or hot water. Alright, the government doesn't want you to know this, but the ducks in the park are free. You can take them home. That X% of Y is the same as Y% of X. 8% of 25 is the same as 25% of 8 makes calculating sales at stores much easier. If we ever go back to stores, out of all of these, this is the one that is blowing my mind the most. If you want to crack an egg, do it on a flat surface, instead of an edge, much less likely to get shell in your egg. Become attractive in the world as your oyster. While traveling, I met a guy who literally looked straight out of Baywatch. Tall, blonde, stubble, handsome, muscular Dutch guy. He was going on about it's really not that hard to get girls. I was like, bro, do you have any self-awareness? Literally just be a tall Dutchman. What is so hard? When you're in a group of people and they start laughing, see who looks at each other. People look at the people they feel closest to when laughing at it. I realize this isn't foolproof, but typically people look at their closest friend or a partner. A lot of the I look at the floor comments have rolled in haha. Stop wasting money on chip bag clips. My kids always break them, so I buy clothespins instead. You can get a pack of 50 at Walmart for about $1. I'm a fan of metal binder clips, myself. You don't actually need to keep contact with your family. If a relationship with them causes any anguish, you're allowed to cut them out. Their failures aren't yours. My dad left me and my mum when I was a baby, and all my life, when has tried to make contact, I've not wanted it. But everyone keeps saying, but has your dad, or it's good for you to see / talk to your dad and shit like that. It took until I was in my mid-20s to find the right words to say why the hell do I need to force a relationship with a man I barely know? He chose to leave me, and I can count on one hand the times he cared enough to come see me as a kid / teen. He clearly didn't want me. I don't owe him anything, just because I'm his kid. Most of the time keeping your mouth shut is a great option. As soon as you wake up, drink 2 pints of water, about 1 liter. It will wake you up like caffeine and get you pooping in about 30 to 45 minutes, like clockwork. Then when you try to catch the train you gotta pee. I go to the bathroom 30 to 45 minutes later. You have to wake up earlier for that to happen. Then again when I get to work. Rinse your rice before you cook it. This might be an obvious one to some people, but rinsing it really does noticeably improve it. I haven't looked back since I was taught it not terribly long ago. I used to use enough passes to make the water clear when I added water. Now I just use 3 passes. Also, don't forget to push down the button on the rice cooker. Don't cough if you have diarrhea. Heard it's game over. Buy a pack of bagels. Slice them all into halves, the way you usually do, before you chuck them in the toaster. Put them back into the pack / plastic bag / whatever, and into the freezer. Result equals pre-sliced bagel you were going to toast anyway, plus no chance of mold and waste. Every public bathroom becomes a private bathroom when you start shitting in a urinal. Dissolve 4 aspirin tablets, uncoated, or soak then scrape off the coating in a bit less than a quart of water. Add white vinegar, around an ounce or 2, up to the top. Shake well. Massage a spoonful of this into your scalp once or twice a day, morning after shower and before bed. Itchy and flaky scalp, gone. Especially in winter. It took stopping using shampoo and conditioner completely to get rid of my dandruff. Not even Head and Shoulders worked. Switched to soap instead and been flake free for years. You can write two FS together and cross them both with the same line. It's super stupid, but you'll look classy as duck. Great trick if you're a teacher or have to write on a whiteboard for some reason. That's so specific I would probably spend more energy looking for an opportunity to use this than I save by doing 2 lines in the FS instead of 1. When writing an essay, Wikipedia is not considered reliable, but using Wikipedia sources and footnotes are 100% reliable, and not even anti-cheat software can trace it. If you fry kale in olive oil, it slides off the plate into the bin much easier. If you make a mistake, don't hide it. Own up to it when you realize your mistake. But when you confess to your mistake, have a solution ready to suggest. That way, you're accepting responsibility, but you're also moving the focus to the solution. You'll be seen as proactive rather than error prone. A manager once told me, don't bring me a dead cat without a shoveled idea, being if you have a problem, bring an idea of the solution. Some gas stations have screens that play ads while you're filling up. If you press a button on the right of the screen, I forget if it's the second from the top or bottom, there's a good chance the ad will be muted. It doesn't always work, but it's nice when it does. When pulling out all the ingredients to make a sandwich, make a second sandwich. Boom. Extra sandwich. If you can maintain eye contact with the checkout lady during the entire transaction, anything you hide on the bottom of your cart is free. I noticed they installed mirrors at the height of the basket now in some places. Guess that was getting to be a big problem. My local grocery store has taken it one step further. They have a camera that takes a picture of the bottom of the cart while you're being rung up. When the cashier finishes ringing you up, the picture pops up on the screen and they have to hit a button that says there was nothing under the cart that didn't get run through the register. Sometimes, you agree with people so that they stop talking. For people with short fingernails, mostly men, push down on the closed end of a soda can top to push up the other side to make it very easy to open. Never talk to cops in case of any serious legal trouble. Always ask for a lawyer. Surprised how many people don't really know this. Oh boy, I fucked that up. I'm sorry. I'll try and fix it is a lot easier to say with some practice than excuses or shifting blame. After you say that, it's on the other person to act as maturely as you just did. Women, edit, and men, pee before and after sex every single time. If you want to avoid a UT, you don't always get one, but you will at some point. During if you really want to have fun. Hanging picture frames, put painter's tape from edge to edge on the top side of the frame. Trace where the hangers are, peel the tape off, then stick it to the wall where you want your frame hung. Tap your nails into the pre-marked spots, then remove the tape and hang your frame. You can negotiate hospital bills. Meditation could save you 15% or more on life satisfaction. If you want to save time, don't have kids. This also works if you don't want your stuff to get destroyed. Simple, learn how to manage your money. I think it should be taught in school. So many young people waste money on shit they don't really need. Always have a rainy day stash. Sometimes you have to work hard. Sometimes you have to work smart. But learning to work smart will not come without actually working hard. Have an item that broke and don't have a receipt to return it. Go buy another one and use the receipt to get a refund on the broken item. Get restaurant quality food at home by adding a little extra salt/butter and turning down the lights. Honestly, this is true. I've learned what makes restaurant food taste the way it does is really just the fact that they add a shit ton of sodium and butter. If you need help, ask for help. It's a strength, not a weakness. If you have a cold pizza, put it in a frying pan with a tiny bit of oil and then put a sheet of tin foil over the top. It will then reheat the pizza to perfection. Whenever somebody you know mentions something that they like/need or favorite things, keep a note of it on your phone. Eventually you'll have a list for all your friends and family that you can dip into whenever you need to get them a gift. Don't use an alarm tone when you wake up in the morning. Just set your phone to vibrate. You won't feel as groggy when you wake up. I guess the tone startles you awake and interrupts the body making cortisol, which wakes you up calmly. Don't know how true the science is, but however it works, it's been working for me for years. Don't go to bed with wet hair, especially up in a bun or braids. Not only can you make your pillow get moldy, but you can get a yeast infection on your scalp. If you touch your belly button and your nose at the same time, you will take a screenshot. Sometimes doing nothing and letting things run their course is the best thing to do, in addition to being the easiest. If you have zero food and you don't know how you're going to eat or feed your kids, start calling around to local churches. In the US, there's a good chance at least one will run a food drive and can help you out. You can also contact the Salvation Army for food assistance or bill assistance. They can even help you if you can't afford your insurance copay for something serious like a house fire. Go to the dollar store, buy a 4 or 5 I love you cards. Give them randomly now and then to your partner/so for no reason whatsoever. Man, don't staple your balls to your legs. The life hack here is that you won't have to remove the staples from your balls later. Shower or bathe before you shave, especially if your hair is coarse. Moisturize after and you won't get bumps, rash or burns. If you need, pull a Karen and talk to the manager about poor service or something similar. You will get so much more by being nice about it than being mean. I just had this happen at a hotel we stayed in. Politely explained the problems of the room and asked for a discount. She gave me half off the room, which was about $70. Hey, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.